Tim, thanks so much for sitting down with me today.
Of course.
When customers work with us, they always mention that our reporting is different. What makes our reporting stand out from other marketing agencies?
Our focus is on return of investment, right? So there's no standard reporting for that. And what we want to know with every marketing campaign is, where does every cent of revenue in this business come from? Even if it's not for marketing. Is it from Google Ads? Is it organically from your website, Google Business Profile, Yelp, Meta? Is it from the truck that they saw on the street and they call that number? We want to know where the revenue is coming from, and that's how we start every reporting meeting. On a high level, we say, this is how much money you made here, this is how much money you made here, this is what your return of investment is. We look at number of leads, number of appointments from these leads, numbers of sales from these appointments to be able to pinpoint problems immediately. And this is not about finger pointing, this is about identifying exactly where we can improve or where our customer could improve, right? So we can see, you might have a dispatch problem because the conversion rate from lead to appointment is below industry standard. And that way we can say, let's look at responses, let's see how they respond, how we want them to respond, how we can improve this process. So you don't necessarily need to spend more ad spend to get more leads and get more revenue. We optimize first, make sure the sales process is in check. We have a beautifully optimized campaign with high ROI, and that's when we potentially recommend higher ad spend. So better decision making because of better reporting. We don't want to show impressions and clicks and look how you rank. Yes, that's all relevant to us, and we look at it ourselves. But what the customer really cares about is return of investment. How much money are you making me? And that's where our reporting is vastly different than 99% of the agencies out there.
From your perspective, what do you think clients value most about working with us?
I think from the feedback that I get, it's communication, right? We more or less force the customer into a meeting at least once a month. So at least once a month, we want to talk with every customer in person. Everyone who is involved in the marketing campaign is in the meeting. So you have your account manager, you might have the web developer, the designer, you'll have your Google Ads manager, your SEO manager, your local search manager, your Yelp manager. Everyone is in the meeting and can get information from the source. And the customer can ask any questions, and we have all the answers in the meeting. So for us, communicating, making sure we're always on the same page is very important. And that could just be the monthly check-in, but there's always something that customers are worried about that they might not call us about that can be addressed in these meetings. Them knowing where they're at, what we've been working on, where we at, what we're going to do because of where we at, understanding the data on a high level, understanding their marketing, not really all the intricate little numbers, but understanding what we're doing on a very high level is important for us. And communication really is key. If you call us, someone will answer the phone. If we don't answer the phone right away, we'll call you back typically within 5 minutes. But it's not something like you're trying to get an answer and we say, we'll get back to you on this, and then a few days later they follow up. Communication to us is a very important element of how we work with our clients.
What do you think sets our approach to strategy apart from other marketing agencies?
I think one of the most important things for us is that we don't have any cookie cutter strategies, right? We work a lot with the same kind of companies, home service companies, realtors, dry cleaners, etc. But there is no one size fits all solution. Cookie cutter strategies is where campaigns go to die. Right? It doesn't matter if we have 2 plumbers in the same market or two dry cleaners in different states or the same state. We do the market research and competitive analysis for every single customer, no matter how often we have done this before. And we try to fit in exactly where their business is at, right? So there is customers that we have that compete over price, some compete over quality, some have a very different approach. And we need to understand how their business works and which marketing should be applied, where's the search volume for that exact specific customer in their very specific market. And that is how you come up with the right strategy. Plus, we track it. We track the revenue, again, super important. We don't want to track impressions because we want to adjust campaigns based on real results, meaning dollars, how much money are they making, where do we shift the budget? What is working for one company doesn't necessarily work for another company in the same industry, even in the same city. We sometimes have vastly different marketing approaches because it needs to fit their business model, how they sell, and in the end, what the results really are.
How do we make sure that our clients feel understood and supported throughout the process?
they realize that they're really understood is when they know, at least after a couple of meetings, and typically in the onboarding meeting, how much we integrate ourselves into their business, right? We look at their CRM, see how they're doing things. Sometimes we listen to phone calls, and at least a couple of meetings in, they realize that we really understand what is important to them, which services they want to push, how they do business, what is important for them and their business. They see us in their sales process when we say, look, we listen to a couple phone calls. Every time you see XYZ, here's something that you could do better, right? Here's how we would say it. How about you say this every single time? And then the conversion rate increases. We make suggestions on how about, we see a lot of search volume for very specific things in a very specific market. Is that something you want to get into? Because your competition is essentially not there. So they see that we really think about it. They see how we want to squeeze every cent of revenue from their marketing campaign, from every single lead, integrate ourselves into their sales process. We teach their dispatch team, sometimes we help the sales team to really know how they need to respond to these leads that are generated online. Because let's face it, an online lead is very different compared to a lead that is a referral, right? They come with instant trust if it's a referral, right? I've been working with 10 different plumbing companies, and but my neighbor now says this is the only one that he's now working with. That is a really good referral. There's 100% trust. They don't discuss pricing. An online lead is very different. We have to build this trust from the beginning. And there's specific techniques that are not rocket science. They're really easy to do. And we train our customer, the owner of the company, the sales team, the dispatch team on, here's what you do every single time to build that trust. And that's not about bullshitting that customer. It is about making sure the customer understands what the process is and what the quality of that company is. No bullshit means we start with, this is how much money you made. This is how much money you made, and this is why you made that money, where you made this money. Here's what is working, what is not working. Here's what we will improve because of what you see, and here's where you need to improve. So if our customers ask us, where do I invest more money? Sometimes our response is, get a sales coach for your team, right? Before you dump more money into marketing, we need to get your conversion rate from appointment to sale up. Yeah, you could get more revenue by spending another $10,000 on your marketing, but you can also get more revenue with increasing that conversion rate from appointment to sale. It is a transparent analysis of what's going on. It is a very clear answer. This is how much money you make. And the answer sometimes is, don't give us more money. Here's where you invest.
What role does transparency play in the way that we operate?
It is a huge role. So we decided at some point that transparency needs to be at the forefront of everything that we do. As you know, if you go to our website, you see these three words that are super important to us, right? There's transparency, ethical, no bullshit, results-driven marketing. And we mean it. Our customers know how much money we're spending, where we're spending it, how much money it's making them, without any fluff, right? If it's not performing, they'll know. They also know what our strategy is to get it to perform better and where we want to shift the budget. In the world of marketing and the marketing agencies that are out there, it is super important to know what's going on, to know what results you have and where the money is spent. Not everyone discloses it. It makes it easier that way, that we could say, you give us $10,000 a month and we give you leads. But we don't want to be at that place. We want our customers to understand where this money is going, what is working, where it's going, and how much it's producing. It holds us accountable in the same way we hold our clients accountable, because we tell them, this is how much money you spend on this marketing channel, but you need better responses, and this is how you get better responses. So transparency, to sum it up, transparency is on the forefront of everything that we do.
Could you share a story about how we helped a client achieve results beyond their expectation?
Oh yeah, my favorite story. Contractor was at my house, HVAC system was broken, he came to fix it. He worked for another company at that point, and he told me how he's always dreaming about building his own company, and that he's already taking the first steps, but that's been he's been working on for 2 years. And I remember saying to him, what are you waiting for? Like, I'll get you, I'll help you out. It's super easy. And he was very hesitant, and I told him, give me $1,000. I'm not going to charge you a fee. I'm going to place that on ad spend. And I believe we spent it all on Yelp. He was scared of doing it. I said, file an LLC, let's go. I promise you, you will not regret it. And he did it. He gave me $1,000. I placed it on Yelp. and we generate the first leads for him. It's an HVAC company. We started in spring, so it's naturally a good time to start in San Diego. Super successful. 6 months later, his ad spend was at $10,000 on Yelp. We added Google, Google Ads, SEO, etc. We built out larger and larger marketing campaigns. So that was a couple years ago. This guy now has, I think, 10 trucks on the road, some multiple employees, good amount of revenue, changed his life, right? And because I came in with confidence, it's like, give me $1,000, I'll make it happen. You trusted it, and we didn't disappoint. Obviously comes with a lot of pressure. If I say that to someone, quit your job, let's go. We got to deliver, but we have the experience. We come in with confidence. We know we can do it. If the customer listens to us and we work together, it freaking works. It's not rocket science. We have a good system in place. And yeah, that's one of my favorite stories because we were able to change someone's life.
What do you think clients notice most quickly when they begin working with us?
For the first time, they understand their revenue, right? So you run marketing campaigns and you tell the agency, hey, my revenue is up 10%, or awesome, thank you guys. Or my revenue is down 20%. You guys suck. They point the finger at marketing, but they don't really know, did they grow 10% because of marketing? Where does that revenue actually come from? How much was from referrals? How much was from existing clients? How much was from marketing? And if it was from marketing, which channel produced the revenue? If I spend $10,000 in marketing and I know marketing generates $50,000, that's great. But if I know only $5,000 of that was responsible for that entire revenue, I can cut my marketing spend in half, right? Have the same results. Or I move the budget over to the other side, get $100,000 in revenue. And in many little steps, you can adjust these campaigns, but for the customer, for the first time, getting a report from an agency that says, this is how much money every channel made me is a huge difference. They start to understand their marketing, they start to understand their revenue, they start to trust marketing and really focus on where they can improve in their business and what we can improve in marketing. And you have just way better conversations than, like I mentioned before. Look at how you rank, look at all your impressions. No one cares. We can get impressions down, we can get your rank down if you rank for the right keywords and get your revenue up. That's the beautiful thing about how we report and how we track and why we spend that much money in software that tracks ROI correctly is customers understand revenue. So we say we have an okay campaign if you get $4 for a dollar that you spend. We have a good campaign if you get $7 back or $8 back. And we have an exceptional campaign when you get $10 back or more, right? And we have campaigns where you get $20 back for every dollar that you spend. But really that's where we want to grow. When we start initially month 1 or 2 with getting 4 times your money back, we're happy, but we really want to push for more. That's why the integration to the sales process is more important. We really want to push for getting $8 back, getting $10 back, and more and more and more for every dollar that you spend on marketing.
As a Yelp Platinum Partner and Agency of the Year, how would you describe our relationship with Yelp?
It's a great relationship. So what we like about Yelp, which is obviously a very different platform than Google and Meta, they're really easy to work with, right? They're very responsive to us. As a partner agency, you get your own reps with Yelp that know the platform like the back of their hand, right? So the people that we work with have been working with Yelp for 10 years or more. We integrated with them. We build tools in collaboration with them that allow us to run better marketing campaigns, right? If you work with Yelp directly, you can get leads, but you basically say, here's the categories I want to advertise in, and here's my budget. If you work with us, here's the categories we advertise in, and we can say, well, let's spend this amount of dollars on this category, let's spend this amount of money on that category, very specific keywords in very specific areas. We can run 20 different marketing campaigns on the same account targeting different things. So your money is allocated a lot better. We spend money in different times of the month based on the search volume and the demand at different times of the month. Can manage money or advertising budget on Yelp like we would do in a Google campaign. And we're pretty much the only agency that can do it the way that we do it. So naturally, because of us, spending a lot of money with Yelp and having that close relationship to them, We're very tight, so we talk to the top managers there on a regular basis, always know what's new, where we can innovate, etc. So we love the relationship that we have with Yelp. Our clients love the relationship that we have with Yelp because in the end, it just means better marketing for them.
Would you say that the iCatch marketing strategy is applicable to any company in any industry?
Yes, but because it's not a plug-and-play strategy, right? So why companies hire us is because the market research that we do and the custom approach that we do for every client and every marketing strategy. Because it's not cookie cutter, because we will analyze your market, we'll understand your business, we know why customers work with you, why others work with your competitors, so we see a unique selling proposition, which is really important for us. And we build a strategy around your business, your market, your immediate area, or US-wide or worldwide strategy, around your industry, around your mission. So we do that marketing research. So if someone needs a custom marketing campaign and their product is more niche, then a lot of times they reach out to us because they say, hey, I heard you do all this research and I couldn't find anyone who specializes on this. So while we do specialize in some industries, in the end, our campaigns are more successful because of the market research and all the prep work that we do.
If someone was interested in working with iCatch, what would you recommend?
Just go to icatchgroup.com. It's really easy to talk to us, to set up an appointment. You can call us, you can just schedule an appointment right on our website. It doesn't cost anything to talk to us. We'll actually do some basic research on your account. We do basic competitive analysis, and based on that, we will create a marketing plan for you that'll tell you exactly what we would do in advertising, where you should advertise, what your competitors are doing, and why you should advertise on very specific channels. So even if you don't work with us, the bare minimum you go out of a meeting with is a full marketing plan that tells you here's what you need to do. And even if you don't do it all, if you just do one of these items that we suggest, this is where you want to be in your future, this is how you grow your company, the entire plan is laid out. It doesn't cost you anything to talk to us and get that plan.
Thanks so much for talking with me today.
Of course.